Welcome everyone to this skill tree tutorial series. To continue where we left off, in the previous videos we created the node functionality, so we can now just buy the nodes and the skills and that stuff. But there's something missing. We don't know what we are actually buying. So in this episode, what we will be doing is to create a simple user interface to show the player what they're actually buying. So when, for example, when we hover over a skill, we will display somewhere around here like an information panel about the skill. So how are we going to do that? Okay, let's open our PDF. So adding user interface, what I told you, we have here our skill tree, we will have here our information panel, and here we will write information such as the skill name, what the skill does, buttons to buy, I don't know, whatever you want. So how we will be doing that? Well, we will be creating a canvas layer that is a child of the root node. And there we will be placing our user interface elements. We are creating a new canvas layer because we are moving our camera, and the camera moves in its own canvas layer, in the canvas layer 0, the predefined one. So if we create a new canvas layer, the camera will not be moving the elements of this layer, so we will not be worrying about looking at them when moving the camera, only when the actual game moves the items. So for example, here we have our viewport here, what the player sees, the nodes, the mouse, and here outside of the viewport will be the panel, the information panel. And when the player hovers over one of the nodes, then the panel will move inside of the viewport and the information will be displayed. So how will we do it? Well, we'll be connecting some signals from the nodes to the panel, so that when we start hovering over our nodes, we will send information to the panel about the node with this signal, display information panel or something like that, and we will pass the node as information as a parameter, so that the panel can set up itself with the node information, such as the description, the skill name, and such. And when we stop hovering over a node, then we will send the hide information panel signal. Okay, so I think we're ready to start doing some stuff. So let's get to it. We will be doing first the canvas layer. Okay, so it's easier, canvas layer, and yeah, this layer is in layer 1. The default is number 0, so that's great. And let's call this UI layer or something. And here we will be creating a panel container. Oops, where is it? This thingy. Oops, no, it's not. Let's lock this and make, so that we can just select. Holy cow, this is difficult. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's move it somewhere around there, and we'll need a what else? Container. We'll be placing a vertical container. Where is it? The vertical box, this one. And here we will be placing some labels, such as the child node, the skill name, for example, and the description. All right. So, yeah, just for us to know that you're writing stuff there. Okay, so just for you guys to know, if I move this panel, this one. Holy cow. No, not this one. This one. If I move this panel over here, you will see, okay, because this line is the camera. So this panel should not be viewed. Just for you guys to know what actually is being viewed displays here. So we will be seeing something over there. Yeah, exactly. You see that? So what we actually need to do is to move this panel over here. All right. And then just make it bigger. Just, okay, that's it. And now if we play and we move around, there is no panel to be seen because it's actually here. We're moving, as I told you, another layer. So yeah, the information panel is still there. So that's it. How to do this? How to do this? Well, we can create here. We could create a script for this UI layer, and then each skill will connect to this layer. All right. So yeah, let's do that. We'll be creating skill tree, blah blah blah. Let's create a new script, which is I don't know, the UI layer or something. Yep, and we'll set it to this. And what we want is this canvas layer. And what we actually want is ready var the panel, which is a panel container. It's the panel container. Then we want the skill name, which is a label and is the skill name, and the actual onReady var skill description, which is another label and is skill description. Okay, so whenever we start ready, what we want to do is for the panel to be in its current position, so outside of the view. So what we can do is, this is a good position, so we just go here. So we can make this 0 or something. So 130, that looks good. So panel dot rect position equals vector2 of 130 and 0. So we will be setting the current position, the outside position, as this one. And yeah, the skill name, oops, this is an M, skill name dot text equals nothing, and skill description dot text the same. We will be resetting the values, okay? And actually, because we will be, when we hide the panel, we will also be resetting the values, just in case. We will be creating a reset. How do we call this? Reset UI. Yeah, that looks okay. And we will just be calling this function reset UI. Good. So now what we need are some methods for the skills to call when in order to show the actual panel moving around and displaying and hiding and stuff. So let's use this display info panel and receives a node and hide info panel receives nothing. So that's it. This function will be called from the skill node. Will be not called, but will be attached to a signal from the skill node, and this one as well. What we will be doing here is to create a simple animation where the panel moves inside of the viewport. So in order to do that, we will be adding a tween here. We will be adding a tween, and with this we can say, okay, I'm ready. Var tween double tween equals tween, and here's an n. Yep. So what we will be doing here is we will receive, we will the skill name equals node dot skill name. We will need to create inside here a skill name and skill description or something for this to work. And skill description dot text, I forgot the text here, equals node dot skill description. And then what we will be doing is to tween, I believe it's there are a couple of functions here. Interpolate callback method. I believe it's property. Should be property. Yep. So tween dot interpolate property. So we need an object. We can just go here and see animates property of object from initial value to final value. Okay. So from panel. The property is panel container, and it's the rect position, I believe. Yeah, this one. As a string, if I'm not mistaken, the initial value, if we set it to null, then we can forget about the initial value. Set the initial value to null uses the current value of the property, so that's okay. Null. And the final is the new position. And which position is that? Well, we can just move this around here. So 675, it's okay. 675, yep. Vector 2 675 0. What else? Iteration, well, let's make it quick, so half a second. Transition type. Exponential, we will start slow. We will start slow and then it will be faster. And yeah, this is okay. That's it. Well, that's not it. We need to start the actual animation. And then if we hide a panel, we first need to check that is active. If tween is active, then the tween stop. Yeah, let's stop all, that's okay. And then reset UI. Because if we are in the middle of transitioning, something weird will happen, so we don't want that. We need to first stop the animation if it's playing or not, and then we will move to its reset position. So this looks okay. I believe this works. So now we need, as I told you, we need a couple of variables here, which were, let me see again, skill name and skill description. Okay, so we will create an export of this. Export string var skill name, and the default is unknown or something. And export string var skill description equals not available or something, so that we can differentiate between them. Also, we need some signals. Signal display info panel, I believe it was called. We send a node and signal hide info panel. I think this is okay. Yeah, without anything. Yep. So when now we need to connect to the actual to this layer, so that we need to connect with these methods. So how to do this? Do we have our parent node somewhere? No. Well, we could just how to do this? Yeah, we could just do it the ugly way. For example, UI layer canvas layer equals ready equals $, and then we move upwards to the skill tree, then upwards again, then UI layer. This should do it. And then here in the setup signals, we will self connect. The method we want to connect is the signal we want to is this one. The signal we want to send is this one, UI layer, and the method was display information panel. Yeah, it's actually the same. Self connect, hide, whoops. Oh wait, there's no autocomplete. Okay. Hide information panel, UI layer, and hide information panel. Good, that's good to know. And that's it. We need now to emit the signals. And where do we emit them? Well, the display information panel is emitted when we start hovering. So we should do something like emit signal, display information panel, and self, because we need to send our own information. We need to send the node information, and emit signal, hide information panel without parameters. And now everything should be working, I believe. Yeah, look at this. It is working. This is cool. So now we can show the information of each skill in the display panel on the right hand side of the game. So just one last thing, how do we change this information? Well, first of all, let's just reset these two, because I like it better that way. It was 0 and 130. Yep. This is nothing, but it's okay. And now we can just select, oops, we can just select this and say, okay, this is my fire skill, and this shoot a fireball to the enemy or something. As you see, right now there's kind of an issue, because if we write too big of a description, then it will not be shown. So what we can do is go to the scripts. Where is it? Description. And I believe we can just add something to this string, and it's multi-line. I believe it's multi-line. Yeah, look at this. We now have really big descriptions, and if you want, you can just click on this button and start writing a lot of stuff. So yeah, looks like it's working. Let's just test it again. Fire skill, shoot a fireball to the enemy. And this is unknown, and this is unknown as well. So this is actually working. This is working. So I'm happy with the results. It's not pretty, but that's something for another video or multiple videos, because creating pretty user interface is really complex. And yeah, we've learned how to do some incredible stuff in these videos. In the last video, which will be the next one, I will not be coding anything because it's quite complex. I will be showing you how I do the actual implementation of skills. How do I place the skill information in the nodes? How I create, for example, spells and such. And I think that's interesting to know, because without skills, there's no point in having a skill tree. So yeah, we can display the information, but without actually having a real fire skill to attach to the player or something, then it kind of makes no sense. So yeah, this is what I will do in the next video, and yeah, see you next time. Ciao.